Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sister. The message that she sent to me reads like this. Hello, how are you? I never thought that I would reach this point. It feels like it is a point of no return. All the things that I did in the past and the things that I'm still doing, I feel as if there is a ton of bricks that has been placed on my shoulders. It is very heavy, really heavy, but I keep on continuing. What I do is that I sin today, I ask God for forgiveness, then I do even more damage. And it feels like I walk 2 steps forward and maybe 5 more backwards. Worst of all, I am doing all of this evil stuff in the house of God. Yes, I am bringing in the marine spirit world into the house of the Lord. I am the daughter of a pastor born into a devout Christian family here in our country in Zim, raised in church, married to a pastor, groomed to one day to be serving the Lord as my father and my mother have been doing. But today, as I confess to you, it is not the Lord that I serve, but the marine kingdom. My story started when I was 14 years old. It was the year when I was sent to a boarding school, a different school, an all-girls Christian school. My parents believed that this was going to help me, to shield me from the temptations of the world. My father is a respected pastor in our church, believes that it was a place where I would stay rooted in my faith and grow into the woman of God that he always imagined me to be. But that year was the beginning of my downfall. So what my parents did not even realize was that at the school there were a lot of stuff that were happening. I first kissed my first girl when I was at that boarding school. Like, we were girls, only girls. So we started doing some naughty stuff late at night when we will be in our dormitories. And that is when we started to experience touching each other. And then a lot of these girls up to this day, even though they are married, but they are lesbians in secret. At school, I then met another girl. She was not like other girls. She was not into that stuff that we were experimenting on. Whilst everyone else was outgoing and friendly, there was something about her, always shy, always quiet, always indoors. She was the kind of girl that you wanted to get close to, but at the same time, something will tell you that this girl is not right. Stay away from her. She is too weird. Of course, being a curious teenager, I ignored the warnings. We became friends, close friends. She was different, unafraid, bold, and she had this powerful authority over her. Every time when she will be talking, we will all remain quiet, even though she was just a small girl than the rest of us. And she had a way of getting whatever she wanted, whether it was the teacher's approval or the attention from boys from other neighboring schools. Things seemed to be falling into place for her. At first, I thought that it was a luck, and then I noticed that there were things about her that did not make sense. Strange things would happen, especially at night. I would wake up, then I would find out that she will be standing in the middle of our dormitory. Sometimes lights will be flickering, and then when you wake up, you will see some movements as if she was talking to someone. Then she will turn around and she'll say, "Go back to sleep." Then you will fall fast asleep. One day, I swear to you that I saw she was standing with a dark angel that had dark wings, and she looked at me. And then she came to the bed and she said that she wanted to reveal a secret to me because I had seen so much. She told me about the marine spirits, the spirits of the water. At first, when she told me about the marine spirits, I did not believe her. How could I? Everything that I had been taught in church said such things were truly evil, demonic. The marine spirits, as my father had warned me, were agents of darkness, deceivers who lured people away from God. But as for her, she did not seem like she was someone who was evil. She seemed like someone who was cool to be around, had a kind heart. She told me that she had been initiated into their world when she was just a child, and that the spirits had chosen her, and now she was choosing me. And if I wanted, I could become a marine spirit girl as she was and control anyone, to control my destiny. in ways that prayer and faith can never grant me. She invited me into her world, and I was blinded by curiosity, and I followed her blindly for the desire. It was just too much. The initiation ritual took place near a small lake not far from our school. It was in the dead of the night under a full moon, and then she had gathered a few items. To my surprise, there were some boys from a nearby school that were there that were also being used by the marine spirits. She had some candles, a mirror, some herbs, and a small bottle of water. She told me to stay quiet and follow her lead as she began to chant in her language. And then that was when I started feeling a presence that was possessing me. The water in the lake rippled as if responding to her words. I should have been afraid of that, but I was not. I felt drawn to the power that was demonic, and it was all over me. I was drawn to the spirits as she was calling upon them, and that was when I was initiated into the world of the marine spirits. From that moment going onwards, everything changed. At first, it was small changes. I started to notice that whenever I would say something, that thing would happen. There was this other teacher at school. She was pregnant. So what she used to do, this teacher of ours, if she would ask you a question, and then if you were unable to respond, she will beat you so bad, so much that you will feel so sorry for yourself. So she was my first target. I targeted her indeed, and I called upon the marine spirits to come and eat her fetus. This I did when I was angry. To my surprise, Brother Nashi, that is exactly what happened. One day when she was standing in front, she only looked at me once, and then she started holding her stomach as if she was in pain. Then I heard a voice that told me to pray, not to pray to God, but to pray to the marine spirits so that she can have a miscarriage, for it was about to happen. I prayed and I prayed, but I was praying in Shona, so I was like, Ichava numbu iyoyo, meaning that baby that you are carrying, you are going to have a miscarriage. The baby is going to die. The baby is going to die. And indeed, she started bleeding, and she was taken by some other teachers. She was taken to the admin block, where we heard that she was crying, until she was taken to the nearby hospital, and we heard that she had a miscarriage. That was my first victim. After that, years and years passed, and I got married, but still I was serving the marine spirits. So now, like when I am in church, sometimes what happens is that when my husband is preaching, I am told that I have to pray. And when I am praying, I do not pray unto God, but I invoke other spirits. These spirits are straight from hell, and I call upon those demons to come. And I even pray for my husband to unknowingly introduce false teachings, distortions of the truth, so that people can be weak in their prayer, to manipulate their desires for money, to think that God is a bank, an ATM, where you can just go and press and money can come out. And I have invited more demons into the church. They do come disguised as blessings, spirits of wealth, success, but they are demons. They bring division, jealous in church. People in our congregation, sometimes they can just fall ill. No more miracles that are from God. Marriages have been breaking apart in our church, and all of this, I am the one who is responsible. I do preach, and when I preach, my preaching is all about money and how God has blessed you. I always say that if you see that God is not blessing you abundantly, it means that you are a sinner. Indeed, you are a sinner. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister, and that was the translation. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Yo.